And I am back once again. This time, I'm going to be talking about the Milwaukee Bucks. Now, going into this, the Bucks only have a few $1,000,000 to spend. So, we're going to go logically and based upon play and how every player played in the playoffs. So, based upon everything, of course, Chris Middleton might want that extra money, what have you. He may waive his player option and say he wants more. Luckily, he would be considered a bird option. Now, with that as well, another bird option that would qualify, two other bird options, I take that back, would be Nikola Mirotic and Malcolm Brogdon. Now, here's the thing. Malcolm Brogdon has a restricted bird option. So if another team offered him money, Milwaukee has to match. And if I'm Milwaukee, at all costs, I match. So those are the main three that I bring back. At this point, I would waive Sterling Brown. I just don't see him fitting into the long-term plans. I try to find somebody to take on DJ Wilson. And on top of that, I find maybe somebody to take on Tony Snell. I like Tony Snell. I just, for the hypothetical of this rebuild, we're going to say somebody wants him. And at this point, maybe getting a pick or somebody else on the team might work. But the one person that I would trade, the one person I would go all in with and just try to gain everything I can get for them, that would have to be Eric Bledsoe. Now, here's the thing. When it comes to Eric Bledsoe, I would try to find the best deal. I would try to find a deal that works for both sides. I get that's being generous, but the fact is you don't want to get fucked over, screwed over with the wrong thing. So, I mean, teams that come to mind that need a point guard, Utah, Indiana, Orlando, possibly the Knicks, depending on the situation with Toronto, depending on Kemba, Charlotte might need somebody. So you got a bunch of teams just right there that will most likely need help. Now, I think getting rid of Eric Bledsoe makes a lot of sense. And bringing in and keeping George Hill is perfect. I think George Hill is a great opportunity for the team. He has a $1 million guaranteed. It might be good to probably give him his $1 million guaranteed, waive him before July 2nd, and then re-up him for a longer but more team-friendly 3-year $21, so he gets $7 million a year, but he's still also getting that extra $1 million. I would try to do that in a way, but looking at everything, this team has to be built around Giannis and what fits Giannis. Now, by getting rid of Eric Bledsoe, by taking George Hill's $18 million a year contract and reverting it into a different contract overall, you clear up well over $20 million. Now, yes, some of that might have to be used for Chris Middleton, most of it probably, but the one other person that needs to come back on this team to fit this team properly because of how he fit around Giannis is Brook Lopez. And Brook Lopez, he's not going to make 20, 30, 40, 50 billion dollars, but a reasonable 7 or 8, maybe even $9 million a year makes sense. He's still reasonably young. He's 31, so hypothetically speaking, a 3-year deal for $27 million is not going to break the bank. And on top of that, they could even add a third-year option deal to it, if truly needed. Now, going into the draft, right now Milwaukee has their 30th pick. Luckily, it's still theirs because of the whole Eric Bledsoe deal that they made, and with that draft pick, they still have it, but yet they're going to lose it next year, but what have you. Anyway, going into this, if they are able to get another pick for Bledsoe or Tony Snell or what have you, looking at it, they should just stick with what they have. If they get a couple extra picks, it'll be great because then they can build a little bit, but sticking with what they have, and they only have one pick this year, which is the number 30th pick. I got rid of Eric Bledsoe, so they need a point guard. Even though they'll have Malcolm Brogdon, even though they will have George Hill, it makes perfect sense at this point in time, at the 30th overall pick, for them to take Carson Edwards. That makes the most sense long term, because this is about fitting around Giannis. This is about building around Giannis Antetokounmpo. This is about what he can do, what he needs to do, what he deserves the most. And that is what needs to happen. That is how this needs to be. So with that, that is my time. If you liked it, give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe down below. Hit that bell icon so you can see when I post next. And with that, I will see you all in the next video.